my name is Madison Callaghan, and I am a student at Lone Star High School, and I am in the ISM program, and I'll be studying Culinary Arts. My quote this year is, "If opportunity doesn't knock, then build a door." I feel like this quote represents the food industry very well because you're always faced with opportunities, but it's your job to take them and then constantly search for those new opportunities as well. And my mission statement is to build a foundation of my knowledge within the food industry by networking with professionals in order to produce creative, delectable meals that inspire the taste buds on various scales. I will incorporate my strive for perfection and creativity to become influential, futuristic, and a progenitor in pursuance to inspire people to expand passions into dreams. My topic proposal this year is fine dining. And then under fine dining, I hope to study food photography, food stylist, wedding and catering, or wedding and events through catering and planning as well, and then also molecular gastronomy and the Food Network. To get into the food industry, I first started at a young age with just inspiration from the Food Network, and I was always watching, the chefs, present their ideas, and then I would go in the kitchen and pretend like I was one of them while I make my instant macaroni. And then I moved into cooking classes over the summers and then introductory classes here at Lone Star. And then that got me into the CTE Center Culinary Arts program, where we get to run our own student restaurant, and then they also give us mystery baskets like the show Chopped, where we have to use all of the ingredients in our meals. And then also through the CTE Center, I was able to join a culinary competition team that is nationwide, and basically you have to create a 5-star meal within an hour with no electricity with 2 butane burners. And so that really got me to experience, the process of thinking on your feet and experiencing under the pressure. And then through the competition team, we were able to have the opportunity to work with Chef Darren McGrady, and he's going to be my mentor this year in ISM as well. He's also known as the Royal Chef because he was the personal chef to Queen Elizabeth II and then Duke of Edinburgh in the Buckingham Palace for 11 years. And here he was able to travel with the family on their royal yacht and then travel to different countries that they went to, the different palaces. And then he was also the personal chef to Princess Diana, and he got to work day-to-day with Prince William and Harry. He's also catered banquets for Presidents Bush, Clinton, Reagan, and Ford. And then he is currently a chef, author, culinary consultant, event planner, and a public speaker. Here he is with Princess Diana. He also has his own book called Eating Royally that tells the stories while he was in the palace and all the recipes that he used. Here he is with George Bush, Bobby Flay, and then also Eva Longoria. And then for the team. Okay, so some of the research that I've done so far in ISM is first I started with food photographers and stylists. To be a food photographer and stylist, you have to know the different angles of food that can display it in the most appetizing way. And so to do that, you have to have a keen sense of detail to make sure that you know how the food needs to be plated. And then also the stylist can work with incorporating flavors that are outside of the food to make sure that they display, what is actually going on within the food. I've also looked at wedding, event, and catering. I feel like having the control over the event and also executing it through food will give me, both sides and show versatility in my resume to show that I am able to have that manager aspect, but then also hands-on as well. And to incorporate the fine dining, I would either like to do fine dining dessert catering or also incorporating, the savory side as well. And then I've also looked at wedding and event planning. I've always had a passion for weddings, whether going to them and just watching the whole experience happen. I think it's just a really great time in someone's life. And then with wedding planning, you have to make sure you make connections with vendors to make sure that you are, connecting with the caterers, connecting with the floral design, and all of it all goes into the corporation as a whole. And just some of the things that, all entail this are the venue setup, dealing with the wedding cake, making little, takeaway gifts for the guests, and then sending out the invitation. And it all entails everything in even more details as well. One of the other things I've largely looked into is molecular gastronomy. Every time I mention molecular gastronomy, not everybody exactly knows what that is. And so what a molecular gastronomist does is a professional that works within a specific branch of science to explore the art of preparing, sampling, and the different components of food as it cooks. And so this would allow me to incorporate the love of math and science that I do have, because I do enjoy working with those subjects in school. And then I would also have hands-on experience with food, and then keep in touch with the latest technology within the industry. Some examples that are really cool in my opinion, they're starting to do powdered fats, and so basically you can take Nutella, peanut butter, olive oil, mix it with maltodextrin, and then you have powdered olive oil, powdered peanut butter, powdered Nutella. You can just sprinkle it over your food, and it has the same effect, it's just powdered. Oh, no. And then also a neat one is hot ice cream that uses methyl cellulose, and basically it's the ice cream is cooked through a hot method versus a cold, and when you eat it, it's very hot, and then as it cools down, it melts. I've also looked into the Food Network. Again, as a child, I did look up to the chefs that were on the shows, and it's always been a childhood dream that I could potentially have my own Food Network show. And so one that I strongly looked at was Giada De Laurentiis, and she started with getting a degree in cuisine and pastry, so she did have those sides under her belt. And then she also worked her way up into upper scale restaurants, and then eventually owned her own catering business and was found by the Food Network. Some of the benefits for working in this field are the working hours, ability to create a new concept that hasn't been presented before, and then also just, to travel and extend to different things as far as, creating your own cookbooks and, getting to help charities and, of course, living out my childhood dream. I've gone on several interviews, one with Chef Corey Miller, and he's a sous chef, and he got to show me all of the different things that entails his typical workday, everything from helping the executive chef to going in and getting everything prepared for his daily execution for that shift. I also got to interview Natalie. She's a store manager at Celebrity Bakery and Cafe, and a typical workday, she helps with her staff and then also gets hands-on with the bakery as well. Chef Carrie Cook is the executive chef at A Sophisticated Affair. They are a catering company, and she basically told me that if you're going to do catering, you have to be emotionally and physically committed, because your work week could be from 60 to 100 hours. And then that includes setting up and taking down the event. And then so with getting the knowledge with her hands-on, I got to talk to the manager and CEO of the company as well. And one of the main things that he made important was you have to have a large amount of capital to start out your business, to help the business start well and as its potential. And then if you started out with a large amount of capital, you're able to gain more profits easier if you execute the business like it's supposed to. And then I also interviewed Heather. She's a wedding and event planner at Donnie Brown Events. And she made it very clear that, you can go as detailed as you would like to with wedding and event planning. You can do everything with going to the bride to pick out her dress, or you can simply just, design the floral design and, help set up the event for them. So it just depends on how detailed you would like to get. And then one of the downsides to being a wedding event planner is how much it consumes your life. If you tend to have a family later down the road, it's going to be very hard to go to your child's soccer game on the weekend on a Saturday, but instead you're going to be at an event setting up for another person's wedding. You're not going to be able to be there for those family vacations and things of that sort. As far as the future, for this year, I would like to work with my mentor and try to gain as much knowledge as possible while further making connections with other professionals in the industry, just to get myself prepared for future in college. And then for college, I would like to attend Callaghan for 1 year just to get some of the essential basic courses done, and then also get to work under professionals within the field and just be saving up while I'm working. And then I would like to attend Johnson & Wales University in Denver, Colorado. I want to earn an undergraduate degree but with having an associate's degree in culinary arts and then having a bachelor's degree in baking and pastry and food service management, that way I'm able to have both sides and I can be more versatile. And then for my career, my goal is to have been able to travel around the globe to various countries to gain knowledge about how food impacts other cultures. And then I also hope that I am able to make it within the food network to achieve my goal of spreading my passions to larger audiences. Questions? Yes.
So, do you want to become a waiter on this time?
I'm still looking into that because, you know, the point of that the interviewer did make is that it does consume a lot of your life. You're basically organizing somebody else's life on top of your own. And so it does, you know, consume a lot of that extra time that you can't spend on yourself. And so I'm still debating that. But with the wedding and event planning, I would probably focus more on the catering. That way I'm still able to talk to the person that I'll be serving, and I'm also able to help plan out those aspects as well.
It's kind of 2 for 1. But